Hello Makeup Void, I'm Trin and welcome back to my channel. Today we're doing a, I don't know how many looks, one palette plus review with the Bella Beaute bar. I really hope this is the Bella Beaute bar. I really freaking hope so because I keep saying that. Yes, the Bella Beaute bar and Deandra Nicole Ultraviolet palette. So this is an all purple palette and I bought this spur of the moment because the Natasha Denona Roxa palette just launched, and then this palette, I wonder if coincidentally I restocked at the same time. Is it a coincidence? I don't know, but I impulsively bought this palette because I had my eyes on the Natasha Denona one. So we're gonna do some looks with this palette. We're gonna hopefully no pan left behind it. I have no idea, but give this video a like, subscribe. Let's go ahead and do a little bit of rambling so I can show y'all swatches. Let's do that and get rolling. Let's begin. So I already showed y'all, but here is the palette and first impressions. Why did I buy this? Why did I buy this palette? So I think we're gonna start off with this pink shade, purple. They're all purple, so let's go ahead and get that. I'll use this on this Sigma E40 tapered blending brush. What shadow did I point out? I literally have no idea. I did use the new Ulta Beauty eye primer today because I used up my OG one. So I'm also going to do a look with the e.l.f. primer, hopefully fingers crossed that I remember, and this is showing up basically as nothing on my eyes. Lovely. So my brain's like, you need to know pan left behind this palette, and also my brain is like, how the fluff am I going to do that by creating and showing y'all a bunch of different looks besides just doing like several one and done eyeshadow looks? I have no idea. So we're just gonna go in that, wearing green, going to work, gonna have a Barney moment. If you're a kid from the 90s, you know what I'm talking about, but it's fine. It is fine. Good thing I brought in my purple berry lip stain into my project pan because that's probably gonna be my lip color for every single look in this video. But I got this to build up pretty well. Yep. You can't tell, but I can tell. Alright, let's just go into the seam brush. So that was the shade called Peace. That was the shade called Peace. So I think we'll go into the shade Royalty next. Just gonna use the same brush because love it. Just gonna go deeper into the crease. And we'll just do a little bit of this. This is my first time trying Bella Beaute bar mattes. So probably not the best palette to try their mattes at. But it was just speaking to me in spur of the moment. It was just speaking to me, y'all. So I decided to go for it. And we will see. This isn't the biggest palette, but it is quite big for nothing but purples, and it's literally called the Ultraviolet palette. So what was I expecting? But I can't say that I know anything about this creator. I just saw the palette came back as a restock and was like, and the Natasha Denona Roxa palette came out. So I just decided to, if I'm going to do purple, I might as well support an indie brand. And I'm pretty sure Natasha Denona is indie, but like, you know what I'm saying. So got this pretty good blended out. I think I'm going to go back into the shade Peace and just kind of diffuse it a little bit better. Not that I'm getting a harsh line or anything, but I kind of like these two shadows mixed together. My voice is tightening up. Lovely. Okay. Cute. Cute, 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 cute. I kind of want to go into the more pinky color shadow. What is Spiritual? Let's go into the shade called Spiritual. Oh, this is a one and done shadow. This is a one and done. Put like a nice purple base underneath this. Maybe take the mattes onto the lid a little bit more. And you have a nice purple one and done shadow. It's very smooth. Very, very smooth. Which, if you don't like a flaky shadow, this is going to be perfect for you. So it is getting absolutely everywhere. We'll say that. I'm just going to wipe my finger off and then go into the shade Rarity. I'm pretty sure Spiritual is a holochrome. Just saying. Yeah, it's definitely a holochrome shadow. And I think a little bit of Rarity also has some holographic shimmers in it. Very, very pretty. I quite am enjoying this. So I genuinely think this palette is just gonna be like a bunch of one and done purple shadows, and yeah, throw a matte in your crease and you'll be good. But I think this is mostly just using foreshadows. This is mostly gonna be like one and done eyeshadow looks, but it's cute. So I have the look where I want it basically. I think I do. I need to clean up the edges for sure, but I will do that when I apply foundation and concealer. So I'm gonna do the rest of my makeup. My camera battery needs to charge, and I will be right back. I'm back, so let's talk about what I did on the lower lash line first before I get distracted. Lips is NYX Natural, and then ColourPop Fresh Kiss Glossy Lip Stain in the shade Tutti Frutti. I will be going in with Mousse Jumping on my lap, the NYX Fat Drip Lip Drip Oil in the shade That's Chic when I go to work. Because I might reapply my lipstick before I leave, but then I always just top it off with gloss throughout the day. Alright, so what did I do on the lower lash line? Okay, so I think I went back into the shade Royalty, and then on the outer corner I went into the shade Nobility, and I really wish that the font on here wasn't purple because I can barely read it. And then I used Serenity, which is one of my favorite words in general, Serenity right here in the inner corner. Just a soft, subtle matte inner corner. I think it's phenomenal, and I think it's the only way that I'm going to really utilize that shade as in the inner corner. But if the pans were a smidge bigger, it'd be such a pretty blush. Absolutely freaking stunning. So that is what I used in the palette. So far I've used 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 shades out of 15, which I don't think is bad. But I'm really apprehensive with the variety of looks I can do with this palette. So I don't know how many looks I'm going to do. I think No Pan Left Behind is going to be super easy. But I definitely think this is a palette for a specific occasion. So, I definitely think this is more of a February palette, not so much like spooky season, but I can definitely see this palette falling into a winter time, especially with a nice berry lip that I have today, except the berry is way more warm than my eye color. So, I don't know what I'm going to do with that. So, I may not use Tutti Frutti for every look I do with this, but I did grab my glasses so we can see the look with glasses. They are incredibly dirty, and Moose is making biscuits on my lap. So buddy, I need to steal a little bit of the blanket. Okay, so here is my look with glasses. As you can tell, the purple is still pretty prominent. I have a spot right here on my glasses, probably from crying, that I need to clean. But yeah, first impressions, I am impressed with the palette. I already knew I loved Bella Beaute Bar Shimmers. They were very smooth, a little bit of a holographic sparkle to them. So I'm very pleased with what we've done so far. So stay tuned for the next look. Alright, today I want to focus on sort of a shimmer heavy look, like use 3 shimmers on the lid and maybe do nothing in the inner corner. So I'm going to start off with this shade, and then I'm feeling like this shade might bounce around to this shade, and then this shade. I think that's what we're going to do. Look at me being prepared for a video. I actually think this has product on it, so I'm just going to quickly wipe it off. No, I'm going to use a different brush. Let's use a different brush. Let's not use the same brushes all the time. This is an old AF BH Cosmetics brush. So what did I say I was going to do? I think, so this shade I'm first dipping into is in the called the shade Exotic. So first off, I remember to use a different eye primer today. Look at me go. This is gonna stain. That's gonna stain. Okay. I used the e.l.f. Lock It Down eyeshadow primer today. So I did remember to change it up. And I think, I keep thinking if I want to limit these review videos to 2 looks. That's sort of like what my mind is focused on. Because especially coming towards the end of the year, I want to play with my other palettes. I keep bringing it up. And I will revisit this palette like in December. So it's not like I'm doing 2 looks and I'm going to do a final, include it in my ranking with just 2 looks done. But I think I'm just going to leave it at 2 looks and just do a final look off camera just so you can see a picture of it. So let me get this blended out real quick. I really like this color. It's not laying the most beautifully on the lids, but the color itself is so incredibly pretty. I got like, I can't tell if I got staining yesterday, honestly, because it was so minimal if it was there at all, but I feel like this shadow is like 100% going to stain. And I don't know if these are pressed pigments or just simple eyeshadows. Let me look at the cover of it. It just says Ultraviolet. Okay. Because so many palettes these days have pressed pigments and it's like not as controversial as it used to be. I remember back in the day when pressed pigments were first coming out in eyeshadow palettes, everyone was losing their freaking minds over them not being true eyeshadows. And like, you can't include pressed pigments, the staining, blah blah blah. Oh my gosh. The controversy over pressed pigment was absolutely, I think, was absurd. Personally, I think was absurd. So let's take a small pointed brush. This is the ColourPop E21 into the shade Powerful. I need a powerful shadow today. I could use that. I think the weather is threatening snow, which I wouldn't be surprised because we are in November, so I'm not like gonna freak out about it. I freak out a little bit of snow in October, but once it hits November, I'm like, if it comes, it comes. But there is a hint of snow coming. Or not at all, it's just threatening. I also live very close to the mountains, so when I look at the weather radar, it's like, oh, is that staying in the mountains, or is it coming out, or is it coming down? I don't know. I went a little bit more into Exotic to diffuse everything, and I think it helped just enough. I don't know how well it showed on camera, the diffusing, but I think it got the job done. I think it did. So let's start off with, ooh, there's a chunky shadow in here called, what, I hate the font colors, Extravagance. It seems a little flaky. So that is a beautiful purple, but it does not go with the mattes at all. Okay. The mattes are pretty like warmer toned, and this is definitely like a red toned purple. This is definitely blue toned. It's not the most flaky. I think you can pick this up with a brush if you were in the mood, if that's your makeup style. But I still think that a finger would probably be best. Running out of space, so I only do shoe shimmers on the lid. Okay, what did I say I was going to go into? The shade, I think it's called Creativity. That's what it's called. This beautiful pink color. Kind of losing it. So I'm pretty much just have to lay it on top of Extravagance. if we're gonna save space for the lightest shimmer. But that is absolutely stunning. And it's blending into the other. I'm just gonna bring it all the way and fluff it. We'll just layer all the shimmers together. That is gorgeous. That is absolutely gorgeous. And so the last shade we're using it is called Magical. I'm gonna pop this in the inner corner. Alright, it's more of a pinky purple. Actually, it's more just of a baby pink. But that's also incredibly pretty. Very smooth. These last two shadows are very, very smooth. Very easy to pick up on a brush. Not that I use brushes, but if you were using a brush, it'd be very easy to pick it up on. And I don't know if I just always go with shimmers with my fingers because I'm lazy and don't feel like using brushes, or if it's just like a tactile thing and I just like touching everything. Can you blame my schizophrenia on this tactile need to touch everything? Oh, that is absolutely stunning. None of these are duochromes, none of them are multichromes. Let's go back into creativity now. Definitely more blue. Yeah, it's like very pink in the pan, but on the lids it's coming across very blue. Which for me is a little disappointing. Just a little bit. Just a little bit. Look at that color. Absolutely stunning. No idea what I'm going to do on the lower lash line, so we will just get there when we get there. Do the rest of my makeup. I'll be right back. I'm back, and I didn't do a winged eyeliner. Who even am I? I think I just wanted to make like all the shimmers on the lid pop since I did 3. I will say that I used my Office Made March highlighter for the poppy inner corner because that is in a project pan, and I want to expand the pan on that. And the only way I'm going to expand the pan is by digging into it with a small pencil brush. So I think we're going to call it good with this palette. So all I did on the lower lash line was I took the shade Powerful again, and then on the inner corner for that little bit of shine right there, I used the shade, I hate this font, I keep saying that, it's Mystery. So I have yet to use, I used that shade, so I have yet to use really the shade Balance and Luxury, these last 2 shades. Otherwise I've used every single shade in this palette, and I don't feel like I need to do another look. Granted, I could do another look with these 2 shadows, and look how messy my desk is. I feel like I could use these 2 shadows as a one and done look. It'd be very pretty, but that's not going to be interesting to film, so I'm just not going to do it. Overall impressions. Oh, it does say it is a pressed pigment palette for face and eyes. If the pans were a little bit bigger, I think you could definitely make some pretty purpley blushes out of this, but because the pans are so small, not going to work. But I do think this is an absolutely beautiful palette. I think you are very limited in what you could do with it, but duh, it's an all purple palette. Do I think I made the right decision picking this over the Roxa palette? 100% yes. I 100% believe I made the right decision, because I think that Bella Beaute bar is bringing something interesting to the table in terms of textures and formulas. All of the formulas in here are very smooth. They would work with a brush. There was a couple shadows, like I mentioned, that might not be the most ideal for a brush, but you could definitely get the job done with them. I did use the shade, what I already forgot, Mystery, with a brush today. So I kind of had to dig a little bit into the pan to get it to pick up, but I did make it work. So this is, let me look up the price because I know it's pricey. I did use Deandra Nicole's discount code to do that, or to get the discount on this palette. So let me see if I can just scroll down quickly. It is $65. So it is almost the price of a Natasha Denona palette, but I think you're getting more with this palette. So if you're into an all purple look, if you think this is something that you're going to really get your time and money's worth out of, I don't think you're going to be disappointed. This is my first time trying Bella Beaute's BBB's mattes. This is the first time I've tried BBB's mattes, and going with purple, which is a very difficult eyeshadow to formulate, I think they did a pretty freaking good job. Now keep in mind, I still have yet to do swatches. You will see swatches, but I have yet to actually do the swatches, and I don't think I'm gonna do them before you will see the swatches, but I can't give like a texture kind of feeling for it. I did use all the shimmers with my fingers, but let's just go ahead and swatch. Let's do a first impression swatch with, I already forgot, Luxury. Very smooth, a little bit of chunk to it. Okay, that'd be absolutely pretty all over the lids. And then let's swatch the other shade that I didn't use, Balance. So very smooth. I will say that. Do I have something I can wipe my fingers off on? Very smooth. That's kind of the most I can say with these shadows, is how smooth and silky they are. Like, they just blend beautifully. Like, I don't feel like I have to really comment more on the shades, because I do applications with 2 looks. You see how they are, and I think I did a very easy time. I did get quiet for a little bit in this look, doing a little bit of a blend, and I did that because it's not interesting. It was just easier to be quiet and do that. So I'm pleased. I'm very pleased with this palette, but still the $65 price tag still has me a little bit apprehensive, because you do get some holographic shades, but holographic shades don't really show up like far away. Like, if you're looking at me from this distance, you can't tell I use holographic shadows on my eyes. So that's kind of my beef with holographic shadows. With multi-chromes, you're not necessarily going to get the shift like in kind of like a vanity mirror lighting like I film with, but like when I go to the bathroom at work, you can definitely see the shift. You can definitely see different colors. So just like out and about, you do get the multi-chrome look, whether or not you see it when you initially apply the eyeshadow. So I do wish, if you're going to charge $65, that you would include like a multi-chrome or a duochrome. I'm more fans of duochromes than multis, but I really wish there was like a duochrome in this palette. And that pink shade, you could argue, that hot pink shade that showed up blue on my eyes, you could argue that's a duochrome. I don't really feel like it is. So take what you get out of it. I'll have to check in the mirror lighting. I won't be able to report back on staining if I remember for my end of the year ranking review. I'm gonna save this palette towards like the very, very end, like make it one of the last palettes that I try again, just so I can kind of forget everything about this palette and then refamiliarize myself. But also keep in mind, with those end review shadow looks, I am pretty much only gonna use 2 shadows from each palette. Like, I know in my core that I'm only going to use 2 or 3 shadows, maybe 4 from getting bananas. So just keep that in mind for those final looks. But I want to thank you all so much for watching today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you got something out of this video. It is still available if you want to check it out. I do not do affiliate links. I do not do discount codes. I'm too small of a channel to have those. But you can easily Google, go on Reddit, go to Deandra Nicole's profile, support her using the code. I have been following her since I purchased the palette, and her looks are absolutely phenomenal. Like, so inspiring. I probably should have pulled up one of her looks with the palette and then tried to recreate it. Maybe I should do that with future eyeshadow palette reviews. Maybe. Anyways, I'll see you on the next video. As always, have joy and bye!